Hello, my name is Chloe. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you my May wrap up. I've just noticed that it looks like I'm wearing really orange foundation. I'm not wearing any makeup. My face burnt yesterday and my neck didn't. So we're just gonna have to work with the orange face, I'm afraid. Like my arms aren't even tanned. It's just this. So anyway, May. May was not my best reading month. I only read 7 books. But as well as doing that, I did 3 exams, handed in a dissertation. Like, it was a busy month. We're going to have to change this angle already, I think, because my arm is going to drop off. There we go, this will do. So I read 7 books, and I had a lot of other things on. So 7 is actually fine, I think, for how much else I did in a month. I'm going to hope that I read more in June, but May, well, I'm happy with 7. So I read 1 1-star book, 1 2-star book, 1 3-star book, 1 4-star book, and 3 5-star books. So really, even though I read some like pretty rubbish books, I did read some very good books. As normal, I'll start from the bottom and work my way up. The 1-star book being Secret by Patricia Scanlon. Don't know how you pronounce it. This book was 76 pages long, so I don't really know what I expected from it. I definitely expected more than what I got. This was about a husband and wife, and the husband has been made redundant, and it's been about 18 months now, and he's not found another job, and they're working through all their savings. They have a very expensive life, expensive house and hobbies, and yeah, it was just the fact that they were struggling with money, which would have been fine. But then it was one of those things where they say, we have absolutely no money, we can't even buy the kids Christmas presents. And then 2 pages later it was, oh yeah, I made a savings account for the kids' Christmas presents. So it was just stupid. It wouldn't have been a very high rating anyway. I don't know how you could fit anything good into 76 pages. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's some amazing short stories out there like that. But it was just dreadful. There was no point to it. And I'm glad that I've moved on. The 2-star book I read was An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. The first time I read this, I gave it 5 stars. And I had a copy on my shelf that was very water-stained and a bit dead. So I decided that I was going to read and annotate the book, like physically writing in the book, which I've never done before. So I thought that was going to be exciting. And I ended up just basically writing about how bored I was and how much I didn't like some of the things that were being said. So this is about Colin, who only seems to date girls called Catherine. The 19th Catherine has just broken up with him, and he was a child prodigy, so he is writing a mathematical theorem to explain why Catherine keeps dumping him. And it's actually boring. I was so bored. He goes on a road trip with his friend Hassan, I think it was Hassan, and that's pretty much it. Was not too impressed. I don't know why I loved it so much the first time I read it, and I'm going to leave it at that. The 3-star book I read was It's Not Summer Without You by Jenny Han. This is just shy of 300 pages, and I sat and read it in one evening. It was very cute. This is the second book to the Summer I Turned Pretty, which I also gave 3 stars, and it's about a girl called Isabel, or they call her Belly, which just makes me cringe every time. And she is in a classic of, there's a sort of bad boy brother who she's interested in, and the good brother who is interested in her, but she's not interested in him. And obviously that trope has been played in many books, but it's just cute and fun to read in traditional old YA. So yeah, I don't want to say cute again, but it was cute. There was just nothing life-altering in this book. Saying that, I am going to keep it on my shelf with the first book, and I have just purchased the third one in this edition. So I'm going to give that a read as well, and it just seems like a series I can keep and turn to when I'm a bit stressed, because again, it's cute. The Forster book I read was one that was brought to me by the lovely Brittany from The Neverending Reader, and that is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is a YA murder mystery thrillery style book, which isn't my normal cup of tea, but I did really enjoy this. This is a boarding school for specialist children. I don't even know how to explain. So we have Stevie, who is so intense into, like, she loves murder mysteries and Sherlock Holmes and just solving murders. And then we have Nate, who's a writer. I can't remember what everyone does. We've got an arty person. We've got somebody who likes building machines. So they're all very specialist in what they do. So they get places on this boarding school in the middle of nowhere, and then I don't even know how far things happen through, because I did struggle with the first bit of this book. It took me a long time to get into. Really enjoyed the middle up to the end, and then the ending I actually hated. So it was stuck on a 4. It was a 4-star, definitely. I think it started as a 3, built to a 4. Could have been a 5, but that ending, no, I wasn't having it. It's sort of, I don't mind cliffhangers. Cliffhangers are fine. Obviously, if the author is planning to write a series and they want to get you hooked for the next book, a cliffhanger makes perfect sense. But this wasn't even a cliffhanger, it just doesn't make sense. So I feel like I am being forced to read a sequel. I will do, because have no strength. But yeah, cliffhangers are fine, but they have to make sense and relate to the rest of the book, whereas I feel like this didn't, and it bothered me. But I will be reading the next one, so it still has 4 stars. The 5-star reads, I'm just going to start with I'll do them in the order I read them, because I'm not quite sure how to classify these as more than 5-star reads. So the first one is the other book that Brittany sent me, and that is Starry Eyes by Jen Bennett. I absolutely love this. This is about a guy and a girl who they were friends, they're not anymore. They end up on a camping trip together and everything goes wrong, and they end up being forced to spend time together. Rude. They end up being forced to spend time together. And it was, I don't want to say cute again, but it was really simple and cute, and I sped my way through it. It's quite a book. Sped my way through it, absolutely loved it, and I've added all of the Jen Bennett books to my wish list. I need to read. Next, we have Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. This I'm obviously reading for my buddy reads, but reading the whole Harry Potter series this year. This is an absolute whopper of a book. This time I did actually listen to the audiobook. As some of you may know from past vlogs and things, I passed my driving test the end of last month, so I'm enjoying the freedom of driving around, and I've been listening to Stephen Fry narrate Order of the Phoenix for me, and it has been a very good month. I have thoroughly enjoyed listening to Stephen Fry pretty much every day, because it's a whopper. The audiobook was 29 hours, so it took some doing, but I'm very glad to have read it again. I did love it. It's just long. My only criticism is it doesn't need to be this long. I can't talk too much about my feelings about it, because I'm going to chat with Lauren and Catherine, who have also read the book this month. So I don't want to give too much away, but it could be 2 books and make perfect sense. Oh, but saying that, it's still a 5-star read. And finally, 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott. I managed to get hold of the film for this. So I read this in February, and yeah, managed to get hold of the film this past week. Then needed to read it again. I sat and read it in one sitting. I just had to know if there was anything different, because I was a little bit confused on a couple of bits and bobs. But oh my god, sat and read it, poured my heart out, sobbed. If you don't know what this is about Stella and Will, who both have cystic fibrosis. Will also has, I don't want to say it wrong, Bisepsia? I think that's how you say it. I could be wrong. Apologies if I am. But yeah, he has a deadly bacteria to cystic fibrosis sufferers, and all CF sufferers have to stay at least 6 feet apart from each other to stop themselves catching the bacteria from the other person's lungs. That is even more important with Will because of the extra disease that he has. But Stella decides she is taking a foot back, and that's why this is 5 feet apart. And absolutely loved it. Read it, so it was within 3 months of me reading it the time before. Loved it, cried, amazing. So that is it. So those are the 7 books I read this month. I have had a very stressful but very rewarding month. I'm planning to read a lot more in June. I will link my June TBR for you because even I am still a little bit daunted at that. But yeah, so there is a lot going on. But those are the books I read in May. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will... Editing Chloe here, realising this video just sort of cropped its own ending off. So just me here to say bye. Bye!